Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Zalrim, and do you want to fly in Legion? Currently, actual flying isn't available, but we can get as close to it as possible with a combination of two toys. So if you guys played in Warlords General, and first of all, I'm sorry that you had to play through that expansion, at least compared to Legion, I played through it too. If you remember the Aviana's Feather, which it was an item that would shoot you up into the sky really high up, and then would glide you forward at very high speeds, and you will be able to almost fly to many of the areas. And basically, to land, you would have to be gliding in a circle until you finally hit the ground. Now, with a combination of two items, you can reproduce the same gliding effect, but not the same launch up effect, using two toys. One of them is called a Rock Feather Skyhorn Kite, and the other is called the Emerald Winds. Both of them are toy items. One of them is usually achieved while you end up questing through High Mountain, and the Emerald Winds need to be done through a challenge for the NPC of Aviana. I guess originally Blizzard did want for people to have Aviana's Feather in Legion, and I remember seeing footages of this in the beta, but they did change it at one point to be able to give you this effect of flying without actually give you flying. So with this, you can go to a top of a mountain in High Mountain, but you don't always need to. As an Outlaw rogue, you can basically use flat surfaces of walls and maybe even tree branches and some hills that you don't, once you grapple to, you don't start standing on, because otherwise you'll lose the effects of Emerald Winds and Skyhorn Feather. While you are not standing on ground, while you're still hovering and still in process of falling, you can use grappling hook to grapple your way a little bit higher to gain a little bit more altitude in order to stay afloat a lot longer. Now, one of the issues with Rock Feather, Skyhorn, and Emerald Winds is they don't have the same cooldown and they don't have the same duration. So for you to be able to get a full effect out of this flight is going to be a little bit tricky, but with a little bit of patience and hopefully with as little of lag as possible, you should be able to soar your way around different zones of Legion. And in this video, I want to show you guys how to do it. And again, this is really kind of a gimmicky toy combination, and that's really what this is. So don't think of this as like full-time flying, and there's a little amount of control to this. And you have to be a little bit skillful in terms of being able to execute this in like really narrow areas, but it is a lot of fun once you are able to play around with it, and it gives you a whole another mode of exploration as a Outlaw rogue as well as any class in the game. So as to how to achieve this item, you have to talk to the NPC of Aviana, and I will provide you guys with a map and a relative location of where you would find this NPC. It is in High Mountain. It'll be like the bottom left area, the part you normally don't explore, but it's where the zones of High Mountain and Val'sharah meet. So you talk to Aviana and she gives you a challenge to grab 3 globules that are floating, and you basically get the wings of Aviana like you did back in Legion, and you're able to float down collecting these globs. And if you collect 6, then you get the quest done for Aviana. I'm not sure if the quest does anything at all. I don't think it's even a rep gain. And I don't think it even gives you any quest rewards, maybe some gold. But the idea behind this portion of the challenge is to get 10 globules instead. And you'll know that you achieved all 10 once you get the achievement. So once you get 6, it'll say, hey, so your quest is complete, but there's still 4 more globules for you to go. So you might as well continue doing it. The best method I found for this is to basically, once you get a relative location of where you want to go down, you can either start spinning very quickly or in circles, and then this way you're not really moving while descending, or you can kind of just like float out and float in, and you'll have to do a little bit of predictability of where the globs are going to be at, but it's at least a little bit less nauseating than spinning around in circles. Once you collect all 10 of them, you'll get this achievement, and I had to do this on my leveling character in order to be able to show you guys the fact that you get an achievement with it. That's how you know that you got the item. But you don't get the toy item until you go to a mailbox. Also, it'll take you into the Val'sharah area, so if you quest and you're trying to decide which paths to quest in Val'sharah, then High Mountain, so then you'll have easier time to transition back to High Mountain. Otherwise, you're going to be in a whole different zone, unless you're done with High Mountain, and then you kind of want to move to Val'sharah. But that's a little bit of inconvenience. Check your mailbox, and the item should be there. Now, when it comes to High Mountain, the funny thing is there's a lot of people that have stated that when it comes to High Mountain and getting the rock feathers for the Skyhorn Kite, a lot of people have an easy time getting these items because they are mostly convenient. As you level in High Mountain, you have a bunch of chests and rares that you collect or beat and loot, and you get these items for feathers. I'm pretty sure there's like 3 or 4 feather items, and basically I'm just gonna have you guys a video down below that shows you exact locations of these kites. This great guy on YouTube decided to go and make you a video showing exact locations of these items, and This video also shows you exactly the treasures that you need to loot, exactly the NPCs that you'll be getting, and shows you the exact process of getting all these items. I've already completed about half of them by complete accident on my main rogue and or my, I guess, alt rogue that I'm leveling, and I wasn't able to record those. And my main rogue, I got all these feathers a long while ago. But for the most part, they're very convenient. But if you haven't found all the treasures or all the rares or all the feathers, hopefully you kept them in your bags and didn't get rid of them, one. And second, if you haven't collected them to begin with, then I'll have you guys a video that shows you their exact locations and the treasure chests and what else would be in those items. And while you're getting those, I hope all of you get a legendary, because there is a small chance that you can get a legendary from random rares or random treasures. So follow that video for the exact locations. And it's really as easy as that. And the way that I like to use these abilities in combination, I like to use the Emerald Winds first, mainly because it'll kick you up a bit in the air, and right afterwards you can use Rock Feather Skyhorn to start gliding forward, and then the Emerald Winds will push you forwards. And what basically you're creating is this really slow fall with pretty high speeds. You get the Rock Feather Skyhorn, which gives you the glide capability, and the Emerald Winds are giving you the speed needed. So you're gliding at a pretty high speed. And you're not really descending too low in terms of altitude, because Emerald Winds keeps kicking you forward. So it's really a combination of something like a Goblin Glider. So think of Rock Feather Skyhorn as like a Goblin Glider. And the Emerald Winds are more of that Druid Stag, like leap forward. I don't know if Druids still have it to this day, but I remember back in the day, it's basically like a reverse disengage. Disengage is a leap backwards. This one is a leap forwards. So basically you just glide very slowly, and you can use this in either locations that are up above, like a mountain, like I did from high mountain, or you can use it in low end areas. And because you're descending so slowly, you can still gain a lot of distance. If you are an Outlaw rogue, however, you can grapple to surfaces that you don't stand on, so like walls and maybe some branches that you don't necessarily stand on. And as long as you're not standing on ground, you're still utilizing Rock Feather Skyhorn and Emerald Winds, so you can almost gain a little bit of altitude. And since Emerald Winds always propels you forward, you never really lose any speed. And if you ever lose speed, you just gotta keep spamming that extra action button. So yeah, so basically that's how you do it. One of the cool things that you can do with the Emerald Winds and the Rock Feather Skyhorn is the fact that it's a toy, and toys are account bound, or yeah, as far as I understand, they're account bound. But that means other characters, let's say characters that you are leveling, can use the combination of Emerald Winds and Rock Feather Skyhorn to get around zones in Legion much easier. So what I've been doing lately as my other rogue, which I only level for like a little bit, just maybe an hour a day or so, if I even play that rogue, I've been using the Emerald Winds and Rock Feather Skyhorn, which are on slightly different cooldowns, to get around certain areas where I know that there's a quest or there's a treasure, or I know I can get around to this area much quicker than if I follow the path. Plus, on Darkspear server, there is a little bit more horde than I've seen in the past, and a lot of ganking going on, so there's not a lot I can do against boomkins that are level 110. So if you are that boomy, I just want to let you know, I've been avoiding using Rock Feather, Skyhorn, Kite, and the Emerald Dream, or Emerald Winds combination, literally to avoid you and not to run into you. So because of a boomy trying to gank me, I decided, hey, Emerald Winds and Rock Feather, I can get away from this guy, fly away. There's nothing he can really do about it to catch up to me. So it helped out a ton. What I like about Legion is the fact that we don't have flying, so we are able to explore all the different world quests, all the different zones, see all the world bosses, and play the game with other players. Instead of flying and seeing the barren, I guess, wasteland of just like no players in the sky, instead we see players on the ground all the time. And then we get some PvP out of it from time to time. So the Emerald Winds, Rock Feather Skyhorn, does not destroy that whole fantasy, and does not destroy the whole, I guess, the point of no flying in Legion for the time being. It still allows you to keep leveling and playing as you are meant to do in the world with other players. But it does eliminate a little bit of that nuisance of, let's say, leveling for a second time or doing world quests, and you know that you can take like a shortcut with a little bit of extra mobility from the combination of the Kite and the Emerald Winds. So that's just what I've been using it for. So it doesn't destroy that whole, oh, you know, you start flying and bam, you no longer see nobody in the world. It doesn't eradicate it completely. It does give you a little bit of that extra quality of life kind of treatment every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes, because The Rockfeather Skyhorn is on a 15-minute cooldown, while the Emerald Winds are on a 10-minute cooldown. And this is actually a lot of fun for world PvP. Let's say you're chasing after somebody or you're getting away from somebody, and let's say there's a demon hunter that's just very mobile and trying to catch up to you. Just Emerald Winds, Rockfeather Skyhorn after them or away from them, and watch them just try to catch up to you, which is a lot of fun. And as a rogue, I'm a class that is being found by demon hunters quite often, so having some capability to run away doesn't really help me with the fact that I'm a rogue and, you know, always a class that always runs away, but it still is a lot of fun to be able to utilize it without really breaking my immersion. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. This is Rockfeather Skyhorn and Emerald Dreams pseudo flying that is available in the game. I think I went over literally everything there is to go over with methods of how to get it and how I use it and what I like about it, and the fact that you can use it on multiple different characters. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.